Yeah, hi. I got this notification from Science Alert somewhere. Earth's ancient mountains rose up with help from the ocean's tiniest organisms. Without an explosion in life, more than 2 billion years ago, many of Earth's mountains might never have formed, according to new research. When tiny organisms in the shallows of the sea, like plankton, die and sink to the bottom, they can add organic carbon to Earth's crust, making it weaker and more pliable. A case study of 20 mountain ranges around the world, including those in the Rockies, the Andes, Svalbard, Central Europe, Indonesia, Japan, has now linked the timing of high carbon burial in the ocean with the very generation of our planet's peaks. The additional carbon allowed easier deformation of the crust in a manner that built mountain belts and thereby plate margins characteristic of modern plate tectonics. The changes seem to have begun roughly 2 billion million years ago in the middle of the Paleoproterozoic era, when biological carbon from plankton and bacteria began to add exponentially high concentrations of graphite to the ocean's floor shale. This made the rock brittle and more likely to stack. Within 100 million years, most mountain ranges began to form in these weakened slices of crust. Mountain ranges that emerged more recently follow the same pattern. In the Himalayas, for instance, tectonic thrusting around 50 million years ago was focused on Paleoproterozoic sediments with the most organic rich beds. The timing and location implies that biological carbon in graphite continues to shape the geology of our planet. Ultimately, what our research has shown is the key to the formation of mountains was life, demonstrating that the Earth and its biosphere are intimately linked in ways not previously understood, explains geologist John Pernell from the University of Aberdeen in Scotland. Aberdeen. The data for the study were collected from already published literature on mountain formations and buried marine biomass. In the past, numerous studies have shown tectonic plates need to be weakened by graphite to create mountains, but how this initially occurs is less clear. The new research suggests marine life is a key part of the process. All 20 of the mountain ranges studied ultimately held back shale highly concentrated with graphite, which appeared to come from a biological origin. We can see the evidence in the northwest of Scotland, where the roots of the ancient mountains and the slippery graphite that helped build them can still be found in places like Harris, Tiree, and Garloch, says Pernell. The surge in marine life 2 billion years ago most likely occurred in response to the great oxidation event when photosynthesizing bacteria began to produce vast amounts of oxidation, capable of supporting new forms of single-celled life like an abundance of marine plankton. Yet, the formation of mountains doesn't even require that much biological carbon. Just a small percentage of biomass is needed for the edges of tectonic plates to slip under or over one another when they collide. So graphite works like a grease, The mountain ranges from the Paleoproterozoic sediment, however, carbon content is consistently above 10%. Scientists found it sometimes even reaches above 20%. In short, it seems an exceptional surge in marine life billions of years ago at the stage for many of the mountain ranges we see today. As the carbon contents of the sediments were anomalously high in the Paleoproterozoic, the flux of carbon into subduction zones was greater, and hence the formation could take place more rapidly than had been placed hitherto. If the team is right, it means microscopic single-celled organisms, invisible floating in the sea, might have played a key role creating some of the largest geological structures in our planet. From the littlest things in Earth, the biggest things can grow. I bet they are really wrong. There's many reasons for that. For example, graphite. They tell you that those little plankton animals die and they turn into graphite. You can read the whole article here on Wikipedia about graphite. Thermodynamics, the equilibrium pressure and temperature conditions for the transition between graphite and diamond is well established theoretically and experimentally. The pressure changes linearly between 1.7 GPa and 0 Kelvin and 12 GPa and 5000 Kelvin. The diamond graphite liquid triple point. However, the phases, we have a wide region about this line where it can coexist. However, a temperature above about 4500 Kelvin, diamond rapidly converts to graphite. So probably those animals have to turn first into a diamond and then into graphite. Secondly, we have similar geological patterns in different sizes all over the world. I want to show you 3 of them. These are 2. This one is on the plasma rock site in Finland, and it's approx 50 centimeters or something. And on the right side we have Spain, Leon, a mountain range. And then we have a third one which looks in a way similar. And we found this also on Earth. Map style. Everything. Nunavut. Land claims agreement. Sanikiluaq. Inuit owned land. Now let's put the labels away and try to compare these to the other ones. There is similarity. So I don't think that those scientists are correct about the mountains forming, because it doesn't make sense at all. And if we go back to Google Earth and you take a look at, for example, the Atlantic Ridge, here is La Palma, and here's Iceland, and it goes all the way down, it goes all the way around, goes there, and then it splits into 3, and you can follow it all the way around, and then it circles the Antarctica, and then you are at the same point and you can go back again the same way. Energy circuits of Earth. Because Earth is a capacitor in space. We are electromagnetically connected to the sun, for example, all the time, and to all other planets too. And I can show you that too. This is the CME tracker from NASA. those lines, what you can see here, are the IMF lines, interplanetary magnetic field lines, through which we are connected. And obviously there's a CME approaching Earth. So what, tomorrow or something? 24 to 48 hours. Just to prove that we have this electromagnetic connection. So the mountains were created through electromagnetic forces and not through dying plankton, which then greased the plate boundaries that they can slip better. This doesn't make any sense. Not to me. Thanks. Bye.